host. So, okay, thank you, B. All right, so this isn't going to be a how-to training. There are hundreds of those of that all over Hustle and Thrive Tribe. And this isn't going to be a mindset training, okay? This is going to be more of like a psychology training. And I don't take it lightly. I say this all the time, like when I know I have to train over 100 women, like this isn't something I just wing together 5 minutes and hope it just comes out and it's something you've heard every day for all the years you've been here. I really dig deep in my heart and I'm like, what do I need to talk about? And like, how do I get this message out? And it's really funny because for Monday, I started my notes and it was all from the Manifestation Babe. I'm in one of her courses and the notes were so good, but I felt so unaligned with the message. I'm like, I just don't feel good preaching this. It was a weird feeling from the universe. I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to talk about this. So I started my notes today around noon, and I probably spent a good hour, maybe 2 hours, just prepping this because limiting beliefs are what block us from everything. And I sometimes get emotional because there are so many of you who have so much potential in the biggest hearts, and like your consistency blows me away. And the only thing in your way is your limiting beliefs. And I want to talk about where they come from. I'm going to share something very personal with you to start this training off. And I'm going to spit you some Bible verses because I really don't think there's any better book that can teach us. I mean, there's a lot of books on this bookshelf over here about beliefs, but like the ultimate belief comes from right here. Um, I'm very open about my faith. And I feel like this past year, when I share these numbers with you, I want you to be like, I'm about to make 2021 like my bish. I'm about to make 2021 my year where I come back so strong, but also know that every time you're going for a new goal, the universe tests you, and the universe when it knows like you're ambitious, I think you get challenged 10 times harder than the person who doesn't want to chase those goals. So I'm going to share some numbers with you because I need you to have a wake up call with yourself for a minute. And I think it's important, me as your leader, to be very vulnerable with you, but I also need you to know like what's up with this comp plan because hello, like I'm the most normal mom. I'm not like y'all think like some of us are unicorns. Like I told my husband, I'm like, if my team saw what I did all day, they'd be like, wow, like you literally just read a lot, grow your mind, and you're just the mom. Like that's what I do. January 2020, my commissions on my personal account, January of 2020, was $7,917. That's a pretty good income. January 2021, my total commissions earned were $18,155. I gave myself a $10,000 raise. So please do not tell me that you can't at least bump it up 500 bucks, a grand, 2 G's, 3 G's. Like, come on, are you vibing with this? I gave myself a $10,000 raise. But can we be honest? Enrollments were half of that, but the other half was like my belief in myself. I was not going to let another year go by where I sit in my limiting beliefs. Oh, I'm going to lose my rank. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, this girl said this about me and it must be true. And just all of these things. I was like, they can't spiral. Like, I cannot afford to think a thought about myself that God would not say about me. And you know what I say to myself every single day? And it's so natural to me now that I don't even feel awkward. I'm healthy. I'm beautiful. I'm successful. I am a multi-million dollar earner. But guess what? Years ago, before any of that was like things I said to myself, I used to tell myself my bills were on auto pay. I used to tell myself that I was going to be debt free. I used to tell myself that I was going to be able to take my kids to Disneyland. So to look at these two numbers and to know that in a year, you guys, that's like drug dealer money. I'm like, who in the world gave me this kind of money? I literally changed lives. I told Em when commissions posted, I said, I don't even feel like I work. I just lead and I love and I grow, and it's challenging, but none of it feels like work. That is because I'm operating out of my gifts and I'm operating out of my purpose. And that cheesy quote that's thrown all over Pinterest, you'll never work a day in your life if you love what you're doing. That is a fact. Like, that's big facts. I'm like, I feel like I don't work, but it's very challenging because all of the work is done in here. And I'm telling you, before we start this off, limiting beliefs are going to, like, when I say block your blessings, like, you are running from moments where your toes are in the sand and your babies are in the water and you're getting a $3,000 weekly deposit. You're running from that when you listen to these limiting beliefs. And I'm shaking right now because, like, last January, if I could have got a glimpse into this January, like the mindset I was going to have, the woman I was going to become, the income that was like, do I sell drugs? I'm confused. So if I could have got a glimpse into that, I would have embraced all of the uncomfortable challenges that came along with 2020. So before we start this, I need you to open your heart tonight bigger than you ever have. I need you to block out everything that you're holding on to yourself. I'm not a good enroller. I'm not a good leader. All of these things. You can be so wildly successful, but we need to step into this woman first. So, how do we do that? Are you ready? Because we're about to get deep right now. And I'm going to try to make this 30 minutes. Okay. I said this on the live the other day, but I need to say it again. So, give me 2 minutes. Your subconscious mind is your GPS. All right. 5% is reality. 5% is like, all right, I know right from wrong. I know to stop at this red light. 5% is like instilled. It's reality. It's facts. It's factual. 95% of your reality, so your relationships, your mindset, your health, the way you talk to your husband, the way you handle unexpected debt, what your bank account looks like, what your credit score, all of your reality, 95% of it is your subconscious mind. And guess what's so bomb about your subconscious mind? That's where your limiting beliefs live. Your subconscious mind, you could tell yourself, I'm healthy, I'm beautiful, I'm successful, and it's going to be like, all right, okay, we have to validate this. I literally just read that in a book I just finished. It takes 10 minutes for your subconscious mind to validate a thought. That's it, 10 minutes. So if you tell yourself, I'm not going to earn this bonus, no one wants to join my team, I've been here for a year and I'm not where I want to be, I guess I'm just not meant to be here. Your mind starts validating that within a 10-minute time frame, and that can be very dangerous. So when you tell yourself where you want to go, it's like a farmer. Do you think when a farmer goes out, the ground's like, ooh, don't plant corn over here. Don't plant potatoes over here. The ground don't care what you plant in it. It's going to grow whatever is planted and nourished. And it's the same exact thing with our minds. Your mind cannot degenerate, your subconscious mind, which is 95% of your reality, cannot degenerate if what you're planting is factual, if what you're planting is false. It don't know. It's going to work with whatever you plant it. So when you tell yourself, I cannot wait. I told you guys to write a letter to yourself when you earned that bonus that's going to change your life. The letter you're going to open to yourself the second Tuesday of May. And can you imagine planting in your mind, I just opened the biggest check of my network marketing career. I just opened up a check that can take care of my bills for 6 months. Like, I need you to get deep with, like, you got a bomb comp plan on your hand. You have something that can literally rewrite not only your income and your life, but this is like this can change your family's life. This can change, like, the foundation of where your kids go to school. This can change the foundation of, like, what your husband gets to do for a living. Does that not, like, make you want to get up and get excited about your vision and your goals? So your subconscious mind is like a GPS, and it needs to know where it's going. Because guess what? If you do not have a plan and you do not tell your mind where you want it to go, you know where it's going to go? It's going to go back to old belief systems. It's going to go back to old patterns. It's like getting in your car and you're set. You're like, I want to go to the Louis Vuitton store because that is where my mindset is at. But you don't tell your car how to get there. So it goes to what's familiar in our mind. It's like, well, we're going to go to Target because this is what's familiar. You're here once a week. You think about it all the time. You open up these emails. This is where your mind wants to go. It's the same thing. So I need you to ask yourself what you are nourishing in your mind. I think Post-it notes are a great way to start. Okay. Order some Post-it notes on Amazon. Write on there what you want to believe about yourself. That little TikTok song right now, it's like, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am that da da da, that song. Write down what you want to believe about yourself. Put it all over your mirror. So every day when you wake up, you get out of your little funk of like, oh, I'm not 4K this month. Who cares? What if God's like, yo, I'm about to bless you with 40K and you're fronting a 4K bonus? I went 40K in 30 days. So please do not tell me that you can at least go 4K or 12K over these next 4 months. There is so much time and value. Whew, okay, let's keep going. So whatever is nourished will grow, and your fears are going to be brought to the light as you're growing. So when you start growing and like you're like, all right, I wrote on my mirror that I wanted to make $5,000 a month. You can't just like sit back and be like, all right, universe, let's go. The universe is going to be like, hey, there's this nudge on you to like host a work with me. Are you ready? You're going to feel that nudge to like go live about samples more. You're going to feel all these uncomfortable things where you're like, no one hops on my lives or ever reaches out. That's the universe saying like, you ready to grow or you ready to bury it? Like which route do you want to take? So when you get that anxiety and you get that discomfort, that is literally the universe just saying like, you want to bury or you want to grow? You want to bury or you want to grow? And I need you to choose to grow. So those nudges on your heart where you're like, okay, I want to do an Instagram story today about the business. But then you go back to this old belief pattern that's like, well, I didn't earn my VIPs. How am I supposed to help people earn their VIPs? Who cares? And it's a selfish mindset when you like Eric Thomas all the time. He talks about like it's selfish. It's literally so selfish when you run away from adversity, you run away from growth. Because if you do that in a little network marketing business, you're gonna do that. Like, I'm sorry to say this, but like you're gonna do that in a lot of things. You're gonna do that in other jobs. You're gonna if you ever try to start a real brick and mortar business, you're going to run when it gets hard. You're going to run when obstacles happen. It is adversity and you need to face it head on because that is where your muscles grow. That is when you're like, all right, universe, I am ready to grow. I am ready to evolve and I'm not going to run from the petty stuff. I'm not going to run away from my business because so and so left. Did y'all see that post from Lindsay? She has someone in her downline who has quit and her volume is over $80,000. And I'm like, sis, that's $5,700 for 8 months. Like, makes me want to like cover my face. Like, how could you ever walk away from something and it builds without you? That's residual, girl. When you walk away and that builds without you to an $80,000 monthly team, I feel sorry for whoever that is. Like, RIP to that debt you could have paid off. RIP to that life you could have built. RIP to that Disneyland paid for in cash. You walked away. Okay, this is really good too. And I wrote this down. I put, it's not about constantly doing more. It's not about hustle, 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 hustle. I'm not going to sleep. You need your 8 hours to get rest. Okay. When you become so attached to the hustle, you start to get resentful of your goals. So it's not about doing more, it's about becoming more. Becoming on the inside. Do you feel that when you become a woman who every time something happens that like maybe that's an unexpected debt, maybe that's a phone call I wasn't expecting, maybe it's a text message and I'm like, oh, I close my eyes and I'm like, how would the 40-year-old version of Katie handle this right now? Like I picture myself, I close my eyes, I'm in my like beachfront home in North Carolina. I'm like, I hear the seagulls chirping. I get real deep about where I want to be in 10 years. And I think like, okay, she's opening this text, the sun's shining, like she has 3 best time selling books out at Barnes and Noble. Like, how would she answer this text? And I step into her. I step into the woman I want to become. And the 40-year-old version of me, she don't care about who's watching her Facebook lives. Like she's going to do it anyway because it's about the message. It's not about how many people. Do you know a lot of these women you follow? I'm just going to say it and it's kind of really blunt, but a lot of these women that you follow on Instagram, not like the big time bloggers, like they're banking with Nordstrom, let's be honest, but the ones that are like, they like it's constantly like ego based and it's so like me focused. And you're like, oh my God, they're so beautiful. Like, you guys, the fulfillment when it's all based on a square and your likes, that is a poor diet. That is a horrible way to live. Like when I'm sorry, I'm about to get a little biblical right now, but like when I get to heaven, because like this is not our permanent place to live, I don't want Jesus to be like, oh, you had all these gifts inside you. Like, what was up? Like I gave you platforms to speak. I gave you a heart to write a book. I gave you a message and I put you on Wick to six figures. Like, why weren't you going out like you were supposed to? Why weren't you sharing your message? You have to stop obsessing over these people, like in their lives and their kitchens and their houses, and understand that like your fulfillment starts on the inside. And I was fulfilled when I made $300 a month. I swear to you, when I remember crying when I got paid, just knowing that payday commissions could buy my groceries before I could ever go to the grocery store any day of the month, which I talk about all the time because that's what I fought for. I was grateful when my commissions hit, and I'm like, thank you, God, for like, let me go to Kroger right now. And I have this $2,000 monthly commission check and I can go buy groceries. I operated out of gratitude in the small platforms. And I don't think Tony Robbins talks about it all the time, but if you can't give in the small platforms, you're not going to be able to give in the big ones. He talks about how, like, if you have $10 and you can't give one, don't expect to give 10 away when you have 100, or give 1,000 away when you have 10,000. Like, you have to operate out of that servant heart in small places before you ever get up leveled, because nothing is worse. Look at me right now. Nothing is worse than growing. A lot of women think that like a rank and a bonus and all these things, like, oh, I'm going to be so happy when I get there. No, you have to evolve into that woman, because if you are not mentally equipped for that kind of leadership and that kind of team, and don't let that scare you. Let this grow you. Let this be uncomfortable right now. When you think of 40K, can you imagine adding $40,000 worth of stuff in your cart from Target and checking out? That's what your team's selling. So don't take that lightly when you have a $40,000 team, and understand they're going to be looking up to you for your leadership. They're going to want to know what your life is behind the scenes. And that's, again, stepping into that woman you want to become. What's her habits like? What time does she wake up? Does she check her Instagram when she wakes up, or is she down here reading her goals out loud? Is she reading? Is she listening to a podcast? Is she filled with prayer? Like, is she running around with the crowd and out drinking every weekend? Or is she like intentional about her health and her goals and where she's going? I need you to get in alignment with this woman. So stop focusing on, I got to hustle my way there. Like, you got to become your way there, girl. You have to become on the inside. So understand during this time, like, I want you to welcome the challenges. I want you to welcome the success, like welcome the growth, welcome it all together, and stop running from it when it's uncomfortable. Stop running from like someone texts you and they didn't love their patch and it left weird rashes and they're all like, stop running away from that and learn that customer service on how to tackle that. Do you know so many times I get questions and I don't know the answer, and I'm like, you know what, babe, I don't know that answer, but let me figure that out for you. I constantly want my customer service to be so excellent that people don't want to order from any other Thriver from me. Like, I want them to know, like, okay, Katie's going to take care of me. She's going to make sure, y'all, nothing is worse than when someone has an auto ship run and you don't check in on them. Like, that's just laziness. You need to be taking care of your customers and be in touch with them. Let them know, like, you're earning commissions, you're getting your products for free because of them. So become the version of you who is living her wildest dreams. And I want you to think about that. I want you to think, when I say wildest dreams, what does that mean for you? Like, if you need to have a little manifestation moment and close your eyes, I need you to think about 5 years from now. Who is that woman going to be? Where is she traveling? What does her body look like? What does her bank account look like? What does her marriage look like? Where are her kids at in school? Like, what do you do every morning when you wake up? What does your backyard look like? Like, I need you to get deep in alignment with her, the woman who is living her wildest dreams, and you need to start becoming her and operating out of her. And I want to read something to you, and this is from Catherine Zankina, the Manifestation Babe, her alignment training. It's literally just like 5 sentences, so bear with me. So alignment means in line vibrationally. What the heck does that actually mean? It means embodying the highest self in every aspect of our life, facing fears and challenges with grace and a higher perspective of opportunity, which means you don't run from opposition, you welcome it. Declaring what we desire with no guilt or shame. Can you stop like feeling guilty that you want to make $10,000 a month and be a stay-at-home mom? You literally have infinite potential. I tell my husband all the time, I'm like, our parents didn't have this opportunity. Our grandparents didn't have this opportunity. All they knew was grow up, go to school, get a job. That generation worked really hard. This generation gets the opportunity to work very smart with the platforms we've been given. And this isn't just like, oh, my friends from high school laughed at me. This is like, sis, you can build a 200K team when we open in Asia. You could be enrolling promoters in the UK, in Mexico, in Canada. This isn't like, it's that limiting belief thing again. It's like, you got to think global. Like, don't tell me you want $10,000 a month and you have that mentality of like, well, no one from my high school reached out to me. Like, I'm talking global money. I'm talking like you can build something from your fingertips. Like, you're like, okay, well, I've only done like 4,000 in sales. Like, I need you to picture, I think this is Tony Robbins and his quote, if the guru on Netflix, he says, most people, what is it? Most people underestimate what they can do in a year or overestimate what they can do in a year, but they underestimate what they can do in decades. Does that not hit you hard? Like, oh, I didn't hit my goals this year. But yeah, if you're building that momentum, what is life going to look like in 10 years? You know, some of you who raise your children are 10 and you hit millionaires club when they're 15, and then 3 years later while they're in college you can enroll them as a promoter. Like, that's where my mindset constantly is. I'm like, what is that generational, like, what if you are building something bigger than you? What if you're building something to where, I heard this on a podcast and I thought this was so deep. It was this billionaire in his 50s, no 60s. He was getting interviewed and he has 7 grandkids. And they said, what does wealth mean to you? When people think wealth, what do they think of? Porsches, all these fancy cars that I don't even know what their names are, Bentleys, mansions, second house in Paris. He said, wealth to me is I've set up $1.5 million savings accounts for all of my grandkids to buy their first home. And I was like, chills, chills. I'm out here thinking of, wow, like I want to pay off my 30K debt, but if I build 10 to 12 to 15 years in the making, that would be pretty dope to leave my children's children $1 million bank account to buy their first house. And I know that's scary and that's really insane to talk about, but this is the limiting beliefs again. That's what we're talking about. When I got started, I had like no money. My mom had to give me money to start this industry. And now my next goal is to have $100,000 in my savings account. I am not anyone special. I'm just so deeply rooted in my purpose. I'm rooted in showing up because consistency wins. And like nothing is more unattractive. Like consistency is a love language. And like I'm so unattracted to like inconsistency. I'm like, ew, get it together. Like you got a business to build, you have a life to build, and there's like people watching you. And that goes too with social media. People order from people that they know, love, and trust, not people who show up every 2 weeks. Okay. Sorry, that was a little red. Don't be mad at me. All right, let's go to page 2. This is where we're about to get a little biblical. So please do not run away from me. This is in the Bible, and I need you to understand it because we're going to talk about a foundation. How the heck do we build a life outside of limiting beliefs and build that foundation? Let me read you 2 Bible verses real quick because they are going to make you shook. Okay. So I was literally crying. I just like asked the Lord, I'm like, open up my Bible to something that's just going to like bring me some fire to this training, bring me some lights. And I opened up to Luke 6 and I literally started crying. Luke 6 is so good. And I want to read you something. And for those of you like who don't read the Bible, just soak this in because this talks about a foundation and I want you to feel this. It says, he isn't okay. So Jesus is, or God's talking about like someone who has like a firm foundation, like trust and faith in him, not in things, not in worldly flesh, not in like riches and gold, but their trust and faith is in him. This is what he says. He is like a man building a house who dug and went deep and laid a foundation upon the rock. And when a flood arose, the torrent broke against the house and could not shake or move because it had been securely built and founded on a rock. Like I get so hyped reading the Bible because like this is a limiting belief when we constantly compare ourselves to other people just because there's another woman in network marketing who's making more money than you, or it looks like her business is so much easier. Sis, like she might not have a foundation under that house. She might have just built that house real weak and got lucky. And like in a year from now, she's not even going to be here. Please do not get lured into a false sense of security. I see it all the time. I'm just going to say it. People leave Lavelle and they try 5 other companies and then they come back and they're like, I shouldn't have left. And I'm like, damn straight, you shouldn't have. Like this Okay, sorry, I just cussed and I'm reading the Bible. Can we forgive me? And then the next verse says, but he who merely hears and does not practice doing my words is like a man who built a house on the ground without a foundation, against which the torrent burst, and immediately it collapsed and fell, and the breaking and ruin of that house was great. Like, can we wake up about the foundation we're building? Because some of you, you're still under the ground right now. You are still under the ground and you're building your piping, you're building your cement, and you're like, yo, this is taking forever. The best houses take a long time to build. Like, I don't know about you, but I want all God has in store for me. And I don't want a shack. I don't want a little like 1 bedroom shack's going to get knocked over in a tsunami. I want a house that's going to be built on the ground and can like face any storm. And that's what I've built. So, how do we build a foundation? How do we build that? With having massive faith. I'm not just talking about faith that's fun to talk about and like, I have so much faith in myself. I'm talking like unswerving, unwavering faith in this business and in yourself and where you're going and what it can do for you. Because where did I write this down? Oh my gosh, it was so good. Did I write it down? Give me 2 seconds. Where did I put it? I had something on my heart. Okay, I think it's down here. I'll get to it. Having a confidence bucket. Your confidence bucket is going to be filled with failures. You want to hear the most embarrassing story? Can I give you a laugh? My first month in network marketing, you know what I did? Some of y'all are like scared to post. You know what I did? I was at a park and I walked up to every mom at the park and handed her my business cards and then almost had a panic attack. Probably almost had diarrhea. I'm like, why did I just do that? I thought that was like how I grew my business. I used to have parties at my house and no one came. I used to say, hey, I'm going to be at Starbucks in Plainfield, Indiana tonight at 7:15. Come learn about my business. No one showed up. I embarrassed myself with so many different scenarios. And that's how my confidence bucket was built. Cause I'm like, damn, if I can handle this, I can handle anything else. My confidence bucket was built when I was posting about my business on Facebook and someone else threw shade. I'm like, shame on you. One, you're literally showing your children that adult bullying is okay. And two, like, I will never raise my kids to grow up and make fun of someone else's career. And honestly, I'm on track to build a 6-figure income. So bye. Like, I was so confident in where I was going that like I think people started to realize like, damn, like Katie's not going to give up. Katie's not going anywhere. People start to fall in love with consistency and passion and purpose and faith. They don't fall in love with like overnight success stories. Like, miss me with that. Like, do those really last? Like, unless you got lucky, like, I don't care about the overnight success. I want to know how you showed up in the trenches. I want to know how many people told you no, but you found that one yes that changed your life. Okay. So growing through challenges, not running away. So when you feel like, oh my God, I'm scared, I can't do it Facebook Live, you do it anyways and share it in your team chat and we'll hop on there with you and send you love so you don't have anxiety. Okay. Branding yourself and making content. That's so basic to say, but Lavelle is not your brand. And if you have Lavelle in your bio, okay, not in your bio, but if you like your page should not be Lavelle. You should be selling yourself. When people come to me and they're like, Katie, I'm trying to talk about my products, but everyone thinks they're expensive and I can't, I don't know, I just can't sell it. I'm like, boo, you're selling a product. You're not selling the value behind it. I think Chanel bags are expensive. Would I ever walk in a Chanel store and spend $4,000 on a bag? Hell no. That's not Chanel's problem. They're selling bags every day, millions of dollars of bag. They're not set on my belief that their bags are too expensive. They sell the value on their bags every day. I sell the value on my products. I don't sell an energy product or a weight loss product. The value behind it. I sell value. That's what I do. So, be so stinking proud of these products. That's a whole other story, but be brave for your growing team. Can we talk about that for a second? I know how frustrating it is when you sign up and you're so hyped and you get your first promoter and you're like, girl, we're about to kill it. Let's go. And then she doesn't text you back. And then she doesn't hop on the training or she earned her VIPs and she's not here anymore. Girl, it's going to happen when you're a 4K. It's going to happen when you're a 200K. You're going to bring people in your business who are with you through every season, all the trenches, sunshine, tsunamis, rainbows. And then you're going to bring people in who you're like, okay, why did you even sign up? You little kidnapper. It's always going to happen. Show them consistency. Show them the passion behind your why. My team knows I ain't chasing a bag. I'm not buying like, I'm chasing purpose. I'm chasing like Like they know what I'm chasing, so I don't have to constantly talk about it. Show your team the passion behind, why are you posting every day? Why are you showing up on the Zoom? And I say this a lot, but is this no coincidence that you're here? Like out of all the things in the world, all the places in the world, all the teams, everything, you are here on this Zoom, and it's for a purpose and it's for a reason. And the Bible says, I will equip you for every good work that I have planned. Doesn't that give you a little bit of confidence boost? Can you stop worrying about the surface level likes? Can you stop worrying about if your mother-in-law is going to support you? Wait till you can do so many things beyond your wildest dreams, because getting laughed at and people not understanding and trying to prove yourself, you are going to live in imposter syndrome when you're proving yourself. It is the best feeling in the world. I told Ann the other day, I said, it's not even a brag, it is a peace. Like what I've built in this kind of life, and what my husband reaping the benefits. This isn't a brag. I never post about how Alex gets to stay home and start his own business. I never talk about that. People can just see that behind the scenes. I'm not like, oh, we live our best life, we're stay-at-home parents. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is a piece. And I have to show other women who are strong and equipped enough for this kind of business how to build this. I still feel like I'm just getting started. And I'm like, what am I doing? What is the cloud office? What is the VIP 800? I still feel like I'm in the trenches, and I'm still new. So I don't get bored. I don't get tired. I understand that challenges and adversity is a part of it. And every time the universe throws me some adversity, I'm like, game on. I've been through it before. Game on. Let's go. I can do it again, because on the other side of that storm is a rainbow, and I will run through the rain to get to that rainbow. Thinking big is a skill set. And when you start to think big, you start to deliver better. Okay. So your voice, it's the powerhouse of your business. Start talking to people, start sharing your message. We are not little typers who sit behind a computer and try to be boss babes. Deliver your message with your voice, especially in today's network marketing world. No one wants to see aesthetic pictures with inspiring Pinterest copied and pasted posts. They want to see that you have your nipple out and you're breastfeeding and you're enrolling a customer at the same time. They want to see that you had a horrible morning and your kitchen's a mess, but you are running after a 4K bonus. Show them the real you. Be authentic, because you're going to be in alignment and you're going to be like, yes, I'm here for this, versus like, oh, I got to go put on makeup and make a post. Content batch. If you get ready one day a week, make 5 reels, save them all as draft, post them throughout the week. Do what you got to do. Okay. Your voice is your powerhouse. Your heart is how you're going to connect with people. You can fake a lot of things. You can fake so much, but you can't fake purpose. You can't fake being genuine. People are going to vibe with you because your heart is pure, and like that's just dope itself. Okay. Your face, it gives people constant confidence. Be faithful about what you're doing. Like show people that like, all right, she's been there for 3 months. She's been there for a year and she's still going. She's still hopping on these Zooms. Show people that you're faithful to your mission. It gives them confidence. And then your vision, speak boldly about it. I don't care if I look like, when I made a post, oh my gosh, my parents, as soon as we get home from Mexico, we're installing the granite in their house. And I'm like, I cannot wait to get a picture hugging my mom, hugging my dad on their brand new $3,000 countertops that their 30-year-old daughter got to pay for. I spoke that vision into my heart 9 months ago. And guess what? 4 or 5 years ago, with the people who were like, oh, you should go get a real job. You should, that's not safe. Are you sure you want to do that? My parents are reaping the benefits of my hard work. My parents are reaping my consistency. So to have that vision so boldly spoken, I don't care who it's going to offend. I don't care if someone's going to like, because when I am bold about my vision, I align and attract women who want to be bold. And I deeply vibe with that. And I deeply feel that when I'm talking about how I'm going to build this, I'm going to attract women who are going to be here for it. I don't want the people who are going to come in and be like, oh, this is too hard. I want the women that are like, game on, show me how to do Facebook Lives. Like, let me be a part of your community. Let me learn. I just had someone message me that said, I have $174 in my account, but I'm willing to spend my last 100 with you to become a promoter. I just saw your Facebook Live and I just stalked your page for an hour. Tell me how to get started. That's deep, y'all. when someone I can pierce and penetrate someone's heart through a video that I did 6 weeks ago, and they're willing to invest in their future and run after a bonus because I gave them that confidence. Stop worrying about who's liking and watching your stuff now and think about, okay, these lives are all on your Facebook. Someone's going to go watch them later and you're going to get a message from it. So sell the value. We're almost done. What time is it? It's been 40 minutes. Okay, give me 2 more and I'll be done. I'm so sorry. Motivation is an outside source. Okay, it's like a reward. Like that's how people get motivated, knowing they'll get a reward. Inspiration. This is what I wanted to talk about, and then we'll be done. It's an internal pull. Motivation is a reward. Inspiration is internal. Inspiration, it makes you show up even when you don't feel like it. 3 things I'm going to leave you on. Your destiny doesn't go on discount, sis. Okay. God's promises, you got to go through the processes. Stop trying to dodge it. Like, stop trying to have, like, he's literally trying to give you like a crock pot meal. And you're like, no, I want the microwave. That's easier. And he's like, nope, crock pot. And you're like, nope, microwave. It's easier. This girl got it in her microwave. This girl got it in hers. And he's like, hey, I'm preparing yours in a crock pot. Like, can you just be patient? Yours is going to take 6 to 8 months, not 2 to 3. Like, be patient with me. Stop trying to ask for God's promises and not be okay with the progress. What I say, promises and process, the process he's trying to give you through. Greatness doesn't go on sale. Let's go, babes. I love you. I hope this spoke to you, and have a good rest of your evening. Okay. Goodbye.